Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, the only YouTuber that shows you full games of all the schemes and tips I show on my channel. I'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Alright, so guys, I want to talk about defense and playing Madden. And I've been playing Madden for quite a long time, and one of the things that you need to understand when you're playing defense is to be as dominant as possible, is to have four fundamental things in your defensive scheme to basically get a lot of stops and get a lot of interceptions and turnovers and downs and all that kind of stuff. So guys, I want to talk about these foundational elements. You'll see a lot of pros that use this, a lot of top Madden players, and the people that you may struggle against offensively, you're like, Hawk, I can never get a beat on this guy, and these are the four fundamental things. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to developing an effective pro-style defense or a competitive, tournament-style defense, you always want to give your opponent the same look. You don't want to give your opponent any kind of tells whatsoever. Show them the same look. Usually most pro players use, and a lot of top Madden players use the same formation, and they also set up their defense the same way. And that's critical because if you're fluctuating your defenses and fluctuating your alignments with your defenders, that's going to give tells to high level Madden players, and they'll be able to expose that. So if you give your opponent the same type of a look on a regular basis, it's going to be very difficult for them to determine what your shell is going to be like and what type of defense you're using. Another high level thing that a lot of top Madden players notice is they notice the user that you will be using online. So you want to make sure that you're using the same player on a regular basis that is going to be your user, and adjust your defenses accordingly, because if you go ahead and basically switch up your user, you might be giving your tell to your opponent that you're in a cover 3 shell or in a man shell or something like that. So make sure you're using the same user player, and you'll be a lot more dominant when you're playing defense. And also know the assignments of that user to make sure that you don't get exposed by using that player. Now the next fundamental thing, the second fundamental thing, is having run defense. I know that we live in a pass-happy Madden NFL culture, and most players do play the pass, but nothing's more annoying than getting grounded, getting the ground just beat the hell out of you, and giving up yards of 5 or 6 yards or 10 yards a shot because you don't have defensive sets. So when you set up your defense and your defensive structure, you need to have plays that you know are going to basically lock up the run for you. So you got to have defensive setups that lock up those particular plays. Now, some pro players and a lot of top Madden players basically have mastered gap shooting. So in other words, they know they're going to use their player, they're going to line them over a certain offensive lineman, and they're going to shoot a particular gap to go ahead and get in the backfield. So that's high level Madden. Sometimes you can get yourself exposed with it, but top players do that. So if you, say for instance, have a defense that's really not the best against the run, a gap shoot can actually counteract that. So if you're going really coverage and you have the ability to go and shoot into a certain gap, that's critical to your success. Now the third aspect of being successful on defense is having a back pocket blitz. Basically, it's getting pressure against your opponent, so you make them make a fast read and essentially get the ball out of their hands as quickly as possible, or get sacked for a loss of yardage. Now, the key to having a good blitz package is making sure that it's easy to set up. You don't want to have to slide guys off to the right and actually slide your other guys off to the left, pull a guy out of the box and actually go ahead and pull your guy down. That is not a realistic setup. I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying, oh, this is a really great blitz. No, you want to have a very fast and easy blitz to set up, and the pressure has to get in fast. So whether it's coming around the edges or if it's slipping through a gap in the middle of the offensive line, that pressure has to come in. Even if it means basically going ahead and sending more people than are in coverage that you typically have, that's okay. You just want to force your opponent to make a fast decision so you can actually bait them for that. And you want to use this back pocket blitz as a change of tempo. Basically, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and make sure that you have this pressure coming after your opponent as quickly as possible, and force them to go ahead and make a fast read if you've been hitting them with coverage after that. So that's what's important about having a back pocket blitz. Now, the fourth and final thing is basically having diverse coverage setups. Having coverages setups that keep your opponent guessing. That's the most important thing. You never want to give your opponent the same type of a defensive shell and same type of a look. You want to make him make decisions so he doesn't feel comfortable in what he's doing. When it comes to man coverages, you want to make sure you have man coverages set out there. You might want to double team certain guys, or actually put some coverages, hybrid coverages to the outside. And also zone coverages. Cover two shells with hard flats when you go ahead and pressure someone, or maybe cover two shells with seam coverages where people go up the middle. Cover three coverages with with matching principles, and cover four coverages where there's either palms, where you've got man coverages, or just a simple drop coverage. When you mix things up, it makes it very difficult for your opponent to guess what you're going to do, and when they're guessing on your coverages, you're going to basically confuse them, and they're going to make more bad decisions. One of the key things too is that one of the reasons why you want to stay in the same formation is so you can master your quick adjustments a lot faster. So a lot of times players depend on the coverages to break down, so they roll out with their quarterback. So you want to be able to go ahead and put your spy out there fairly quick. So staying in the same formation is going to make it easier for your quick adjustments, and basically go ahead and give you a better opportunity to go and shut down their defense. Now, the last thing when it comes to having diverse coverages is knowing the adjustments that you need to lock up the meta. It doesn't take longer than maybe a couple of days before people start abusing certain plays, and you'll have to go ahead and stay on top of what is going on in the Madden community, and what are the meta plays that are getting used. And your defense has to have a way to stop those meta type things that people are using. So it's critical to stay on top of what the meta is, and having a defense that actually can offset that meta. So that means getting into the lab or picking up an ebook that actually addresses some meta plays. So guys, this is the 4 fundamentals. Making sure that you have the same look on defense, having run defense to stop the run, having a back pocket blitz, fast and easy pressure to get to the quarterback, and have the ability to have very diverse coverages where it keeps your opponent guessing. When you have your opponent guessing, when you can actually hit him with pressure at any time and he can't run the ball, you're going to essentially go ahead and dominate your opponent. So once again, guys, if you like more tips like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'll be showing you a lot of tips, and also I'm going to be building out ebooks and other schemes for my Patreon. So if you guys want more tips on that, go to my Patreon at the bottom of the link. So once again, thank you for your support. Until next time.